Fantastic. Thanks. Okay. So if you don't have that setup in place, just be sure that you get back to the recording when it's made available, okay? Because everything we say this evening is going to be significant. All right, so we're talking about a tool called the Swipecoin Scalper, okay? Whether you've used it before, in fact, okay, let me not even make any assumptions. If you're on here and you've used the Swipecoin Scalper before, can you put a 4 on the chat? And if you've not used it before, you have absolutely no idea what it is, right? Or maybe you know what it is, but you haven't used it, right? Put a 5 on the chart. So 4 if you've used it, 5 if you haven't. Okay, let's see. Just get a quick sense of, okay, see, 4s, 5s, 4s, 5. Okay, so it's about evenly split. 4. Oh, okay, interesting. Okay. I think for some of you, your perspective is about to shift this evening. By the time you see what's possible with the Swipecoin Scalper, this is a truly powerful tool. And I think the most powerful thing about the Swipecoin Scalper is its simplicity. The fact that it is so simple to use. I mean, anybody will get this. All right. So as you know how we do this, we'll first go through the theory and then we dive right into the different examples so that we can truly benefit from this tool. The Swipecoin Scalper really is a tool that gives you access to what I call real-time trade ideas for cryptocurrencies. And the good thing about the types of trade ideas that it puts out is they are short-term, meaning you can be in those trades for perhaps a few hours. Okay, worst case, a day or two. It's rare that I have seen a trade on the Swipecoin Scalper that has gone beyond a day. Obviously, it depends on how you're using it and what your targets for profits are. But generally, the idea behind the scalper is you're getting into the market, you're trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, and you're getting out ideally with a profit. Okay, so it's short-term moves. You're going in and you're going out. Okay, we'll talk about how you can design the Swipecoin Scalper around your lifestyle. Okay, that's one of the things that's truly powerful about this tool. But the way it works is it helps you identify what the next big move in the cryptocurrency market is going to be. Okay, so you're basically just waiting and waiting, and when that big move comes, you're positioned optimally to take advantage of that big move in price. And if that wasn't even good enough, the trade ideas that you get from the Swipecoin Scalper work whether price is going up or down, so you can profit whatever is happening to price. Okay, so this tool is very different from the investment side of cryptocurrencies, where you're actually buying the cryptocurrencies and perhaps you keep them in a wallet or you do some other things with them, but you need to first of all buy the cryptocurrencies on the investment side before you are able to gain from price appreciation. Here, you don't need to own any cryptocurrencies. That's the amazing thing. Okay, and whether the price of cryptocurrencies is going up or is coming down, you can also profit. Okay, so that's the Swipecoin Scalper, and I'm going to show you what the tool looks like in a minute. Okay, but first, let's talk about what we are trading. I've just talked about cryptocurrencies. Really, what specifically are we trading? Well, we're trading something called cryptocurrencies, but we're trading them on leverage, meaning you can use, the simplest way to define that is you can use a small amount of money to control a larger amount. That's really what leverage is. But don't worry, by the time we get to the examples, you will understand what this is. Specifically, we use the Swipecoin Scalper for Bitcoin and Ethereum. But I'm here to also tell you that when we are looking at some of the more advanced ways of using the scalper, I'll show you how to adapt this to other cryptocurrencies beyond just Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay. There's some tools that we're going to need. And in fact, in the very next step, we're going to go ahead and set up one of those tools, okay, so that you all can participate as we go through this conversation. The first thing you will need is obviously the Swipecoin Scalper tool itself, okay? So if you're on here and you're a partner, obviously you know what that means, okay? If you have access to the Cryptocurrency Academy as a standalone package, or you have access to the Elite Pack, right? Then the Swipecoin Scalper is part of what you have. If you're on here and you're a guest, you will need access to these packages that I've identified here for you to gain access to the tool. And we'll explain how that works, okay, towards the end. The second thing you will need is an account with a broker. And preferably, you want a broker that gives you access to cryptocurrency prices 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Now, there are some brokers that they are not open and they are not available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay. You want to first of all identify the ones that give you that kind of access. And only in a case where they are not available should you consider the other ones that are not available 24/7. Now, I do have some examples on here, but there is a caveat. Now, we're all from different parts of the world. You do need to do some research and confirm that these brokers, and indeed others that I have not listed on here, are allowed to be used where you reside, because there is some jurisdictional regulation that applies to these brokers or to the use of the brokers. So you have to do that research and figure out what is allowed for use where you are. The interesting thing though is you can also take these trades, this Bitcoin trades or this Ethereum trades on centralized exchanges like Binance, okay? We won't talk about doing that on Binance today, okay? That's a bit more advanced, okay? Today, we're just going to focus on using the tools that these brokers provide, something called MetaTrader 4. That's just the name for the platform or the software that we'll be using. And one free tool that will help with all of this, which we'll introduce later on, is TradingView. We've talked about TradingView on our calls a couple of times. TradingView helps. Do you, strictly speaking, absolutely need TradingView? No, right? The Swipecoin Scalper gives you everything that you need. Okay, but if you want to go ahead and set alarms or set alerts, as I will show you, then that's where TradingView comes in, okay? So these are the things that you need to really use the Swipecoin Scalper. Right, now let's go ahead and let's get right into it, okay? So this is where the hands-on part of this conversation begins, okay? So you need a demo account, a MetaTrader 4 demo account from one of these brokers in order to proceed to the next step, okay? Now, I already have this set up. I will give you some instructions for setting this up that you can go ahead and do now. But first of all, let me just test. If you already have a demo account, a MetaTrader 4 demo account set up, right? Go ahead and put a 7 on the chart. Let me just see who's already set up to trade. Let me get a sense for that real quick. Okay, so there's a few people. All right, okay. All right, looks like about what, 10-15% of us do. Okay, let me wait a couple of minutes and see if there's more feedback coming in. All right, let me do this the other way. If you do not have a MetaTrader 4 demo account set up, can you put an 8 on the chart? Let's do it the other way. Let's know. Okay, I want to be sure how many people need help. Okay, there's a few people. All right, so I'm seeing quite a lot of 7s. There's a few 8s. I'm mindful of you. Thank you for the feedback that you're providing. So I'll go ahead and I'll go through the steps fairly quickly. This is being recorded, so you can come back to the recording to review the steps if you've missed something. But there is a certain point I want us to get to in the conversation this evening. So I will go through this a bit quickly, if you don't mind. But don't worry, if you're not able to keep up, it's fine. Just go back to the recording and you should be able to do this. All right, so let me show you how to set this up using one of the brokers. Okay. Again, remember, you do need to do your research about which one is available for use where you reside. Okay. Now, I'll put the link to the website. This is KOT Forex. Okay, for the person asking, we'll get the link to you. Okay. Give me a minute to everyone. All right, so I put a link to this particular example that we're using, and what we're going to do is set up a demo account. Okay, the first thing that you need to do when you come to this site is scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. So this section where you see links and you will see demo account. Okay, so just go ahead and click on that. All right. It'll ask you for your name, first name, last name, your email address. You'll be asked to choose something called leverage. It's okay, just pick 500 for now. Okay. After you've picked leverage, it'll ask you for the balance. Okay, this is a demo account. It's not real money. So I can see you can see $1 million US here. You're not going to be able to withdraw it. Okay, it's practice money, risk-free money. So go ahead, select the largest amount available and click open demo account. What will happen after you've clicked open demo account is you'll receive an email from these individuals telling you, giving you the details for your account. Okay, so they will give you a password and that you will have in your email. Okay, let me just see if I have an example that I can show you so that you know what that looks like. Fantastic. Okay, so okay, you should get something like this saying you have successfully registered for your MetaTrader demo account with KOT Forex. Okay, they'll give you a demo account number and something called a trader password. Okay, once you have this, that's fine. You come back to the KOT Forex website and you come to download MT4. Okay, that's what you do. So you come here, click on download MT4. There are a number of options. If you're doing this on a computer, right, the first thing you will do is obviously click download MT4. And if your computer is Windows based, you would select this option. There are other options for Android, iOS, or for an Apple-based computer. I'm using a Windows computer, so I will download MT4 for Windows. If you're using a phone, you have other options for your phone that you can use. Okay, so just go ahead and download this. A file should start saving on your computer once you've initiated the download process. Once you've done that, you should have you have the ability to install that MetaTrader 4 file that you've just downloaded. Okay, I know I'm going a bit quick, but remember, you can come back and watch the recording. I'm just going through the Sims. It seems a lot more of us already have access to the MetaTrader 4. So this is for the benefit of those who don't. Okay, ultimately, you'll end up with something like this, where you can come to the accounts section and click login to trade accounts. Now, what you'll be doing on this side when it says login to trade accounts is you'll go back to your email. Remember, you were given a username in your email and a password, and the server will be KOT demo. Once you click login to an existing account, eventually your setup is going to be similar to what I'm showing you on here. Okay, I'll show you the additional changes that you will need to make to get to this point. Okay, right. So with that, those are the steps you will need to go through to get your demo account set up. All right. Now, once you have your demo account set up, you want to make sure that you are ready to trade. Over on the left-hand side here, I've already set mine up to show the symbols that I am interested in. Okay. And I'll use this example to show you how you get the cryptocurrency symbols on here if they are not visible as at the time you have successfully logged into your demo account. Okay. What you need to do is come over to this section that has different symbols. You right click and you look for symbols. Okay. Click on that and this dialog should pop up. Okay. Something similar to this. You're looking for cryptocurrencies. That's why we downloaded this thing in the first place, correct? So you look for cryptos on here, expand this button, and probably when you first do this, Bitcoin will be gray, like the way these other ones are. But if you double click on Bitcoin, BTC, USD, this will change to gold from gray. You can do that for Ethereum, for Litecoin, and for Solana. Let's just keep it there, right? For those four. Let's not do any more than those four. But you can see that there are other cryptocurrencies that this broker provides access to on its platform. So just enable Bitcoin, Ethereum, you can do Litecoin and Solana, and then you can close. Once you do that, you should see Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Solana. You should see them over on the left-hand side, all set up. Okay. I'm going to ask you to make one more change to your setup before we continue with the rest of the presentation or the class this evening. If you right-click anywhere in this window on the left, right, please ensure that this spread option is ticked, okay, that there's a tick sign next to spread. Okay, just be sure that you do that. And once you do that, this extra column on the right-hand side will come up, okay, and that's what we refer to as the spread. The simplest way to think about it is the spread is the difference between this price and this price. We will explain what those prices are later on, okay? But that's what this spread is. It's just a convenient way to see the difference between the prices listed under this bid column and the prices listed under the ask column, okay? All right. So at this point, we've downloaded MetaTrader 4, we've installed it, and we've added the cryptocurrencies that are our focus areas: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Solana, all right? Those four. Or you can just do Bitcoin and Ethereum to keep this thing really easy, okay? And we're ready to continue with the rest of the conversation. Okay, so if you're with me so far, go ahead, put an 8 on the chat if you're with me so far. Okay. I know the vast majority of us have the MT4 account all set up. So I just went through this quickly for people who go back and use the recording, to get this set up so that they can come up to speed. If you're feeling a bit lost or that this is going a bit too fast, just take it easy. We'll get the recording to you so that you can follow along. You can just sit back, watch, listen, understand how the tool is used, because it will still benefit you going forward. All right, so thanks for that feedback. That was all about setting up the demo account. Okay, so what we want to do next, right, is foundational to using the Swipecoin Scalper. Okay, and it's how to count pips. Now, what's a pip? Okay, I'm going to give you a simple definition. Okay, a pip is the way we measure how prices move. Okay, whether it's cryptocurrencies or forex, is just like a way you measure how far price has moved. Okay, that's what a pip is. Okay, now you need to know how to identify what a pip is, whether you're referring to Bitcoin or you're referring to Ethereum. And the way you calculate pips with Bitcoin and with Ethereum is there's a difference. That's why we need to start from here before we make any further progress. Okay. Now, I've given two examples so that you can get the point. Okay. Let's start with Bitcoin. Okay. Remember, a pip is you're measuring how far price has moved. So when you're talking about a pip, you need to be thinking about two different prices at least. Okay, and then the pips, number of pips will be the distance between those two prices, right? That's how you think about it. So here's Bitcoin with an example. Okay, the first price we are interested in is $45,000. You know, Bitcoin now obviously is around 47,000. So this is a realistic example. So the first price level is 45,000. The second price level is 40,000. The difference between these two prices is 45,000 minus 40,000. So that's $5,000. Okay. What you need to be aware of is in Bitcoin, a change in price of $1 is equivalent to 1 pip. So since we have a change here of $5,000, the distance in pips between this price and this price, between price 1 and price 2, is 5,000 pips. Remember, a change of $1 in Bitcoin is equivalent to 1 pip. This is going to be very important, you know, in another 10 minutes. So please be sure that you get this. Okay. All right. If this is clear to you, put a 9 on the chart. If it's not clear, put a 1, right? So that we know how we know how far away we need to deal with this. Okay. So if it's clear, put 9. If it's not clear, put 1. Okay, fantastic. Thank you for the feedback. I'll go through this again. Okay. We are looking at two different prices and we want to calculate the distance between the prices in something called pips. Okay. You need to get used to this terminology, a pip, what a pip is. Okay. Focus all your attention right now on Bitcoin. Do not think about anything else. Okay. So we have one price for Bitcoin. Maybe you wake up tomorrow and the price of Bitcoin at 8 o'clock is 45,000. Okay. And somewhere around 12 o'clock tomorrow, the price has fallen to 40,000. Okay. You can tell somebody that, oh, between 8 o'clock and 12 noon, the price of Bitcoin dropped from 45,000 to 40,000. Okay. Which means there was a difference of 5,000. Where did we get 5,000 from? That's 45,000 minus 40. Okay. So if it's clear to you how we got $5,000, please put a 2 on the chart. Let's be sure that we are all there. I'm going really, really slow. Okay, because when we get 2 slides away, you know, I need everybody to run with me. Okay, so it's clear how we got 5,000. Now, just take this line as gospel truth. Okay, a difference in price of $1 is equivalent to 1 pip for Bitcoin. So you can also say that price of Bitcoin dropped by 5,000 pips. Because $5,000, a change in $5,000 is 5,000 pips. Okay. So if that's clear, please put a 3 on the chart now. You understand what a pip is when we are talking about Bitcoin. Okay. All right. So that's how you calculate it for Bitcoin. Okay. To calculate the distance in pips, you ask yourself, what is the first price? Okay, you know the price, you ignore the decimals, okay? You just want whole numbers. What's the second price? You know what that price is for Bitcoin. Simply subtract, you know, the smaller number from the bigger number. That will give you the number of pips between those two prices, okay? All right, now let's come to Ethereum because Ethereum is a bit different from the way you calculate pips here. Okay, here you also have a price, okay, an initial price. There's the first price, price 1, you have the second price, price 2. The difference between these two prices is 3,005 minus 3,000, right? So that's 500, okay? For Ethereum, $1 price difference is equal to 10 pips, okay? Remember, you need to accept this line as truth for anything else that we are going to do to make sense, okay? I know you are wondering, why is $1 1 pip for Bitcoin and $1 10 pips for Ethereum? Just accept it that way today. Okay. Okay. Accept it. So we move on, and then eventually understanding will sink in. Okay. So you have $500 here, but we are saying $1 price difference for Ethereum is 10 pips. So this $500 in Ethereum is equal to or equivalent to 5,000 pips. You multiply 500 by 10, okay, to get the number of pips. So although in Bitcoin, this is going from 45,000 to 40,000, okay, in Ethereum, and this difference is 5,000 pips. In Ethereum, even though we only went from 3,005 to 3,000, right, the difference is also 5,000 pips because of this line. So for Bitcoin, $1 is equivalent, a $1 change is equivalent to 1 pip. For Ethereum, a $1 change is equivalent to 10 pips. Okay, all right. You may need to take a screenshot of this slide because we are going to refer to it multiple times in the next 15 minutes, okay? All right. Now, having gotten through the introduction, you know, you're rightfully asking at this time, how do you even, what does the Swipecoin Scalper environment look like? Okay, for those of you who haven't used it before. Okay, so this is where the fun begins. Okay, I will show you what the Swipecoin Scalper looks like. How do you access the Swipecoin Scalper? You access it using this link that I put on the chat. Okay. Okay. All right, so that's how you access the Swipecoin Scalper. And yes, for those of you who have questions, go ahead, put the questions in the chat. We'll deal with them at the end, okay? I want to keep the flow going, okay? So when you click on that link, if you have access to the tool, you should see something similar to what I'm showing on the screen right now. It may ask you to log in, that's okay. Go ahead and log in with your member username and password. If you don't have access, it's okay, just watch what I'm showing on the screen. Let me go ahead first of all and just refresh this to be sure that this is the latest and greatest information that we need. Ooh, interesting stuff. Okay. All right. So let's talk a bit for 2 minutes about what's going on here. We see a bunch of red and green candles. For those of you who are here and you're very familiar with time-based Forex, it's the same kind of red and green candles that we see. Okay, these things just represent the price of whatever asset you're looking at. In this case, the assets that we are looking at is Bitcoin. Let me just say that once you get access to this place, to be sure that we are looking at the same thing, it's the same thing, come over to the top right-hand side here and be sure that this thing says original. Okay. There are other things available here. There's smooth, DCX, alt-fi, colors, and something else. Okay, be sure that you are on original. Okay, so, and then be sure below original that it's BTC USD that you are looking at. So this is the environment that generates the automated trade ideas that help to tell us where the next big move is likely going to happen in cryptocurrencies, in this particular case for Bitcoin. So all these red and green candles represent how the price of Bitcoin is changing. Okay, Bitcoin, remember cryptocurrencies are valued in dollars. So this is telling you how price is varying. Okay, and you have this orange line, okay, that is by default placed on, you know, it overlaps with those red and green lines. Okay, please be sure as well that when you come here that this thing here is set on 15 minutes. Okay, this is the time frame that we are looking at. So what this 15 minutes does for us is it tells us that each red bar or each green bar represents how price moved over the last 15 minutes. Okay. If I change this to some other time interval, you will still see red and green bars. Okay. But they will no longer be for 15 minutes. They will be for whatever other time frame I've changed it to. Okay. So just recognize that each red bar or each green bar represents 15 minutes of price movement. Now, you might be wondering, okay, how does this tool work? Okay. Once you log into this tool, you will see most of the time that there is either a green line that is on the chart or a red line, that is drawn. One of those two. It's going to be one of those two. It will either be red or it will be green. Okay. In this case, we have a green line and we have what looks like an instruction. It says break and close below this zone confirms idea. Okay. Break and close below this zone confirms idea. Now, what does that mean? What this instruction means is we are waiting for price to travel downwards from where it is. It is up here right now. We're waiting for price to travel downwards towards this green line. And there is something specific we want to see, okay, about the way these red and green lines form that will tell us it is time for us to take a trade. In this case, take a sell trade, meaning you'll be selling Bitcoin. If these candles eventually come down here and they break and close below this line, okay? That's how the tool works. If it is red, you'll be expecting price to go up to where the red line is and then to break above the red line so that you can take a buy trade. Don't worry, I'm going to show you what it means. As in, you might be wondering what is break, what is close, what does all that mean? It's okay. I will show you what those examples are like in a bit. Okay. All right. Now, before we come back to this tool and we dive into it a bit more, let me just tell you that there are three ways you can use this Swipecoin scalper. Okay. There's what I call the basic way of using it, which is what we will do this evening. There is the intermediate way of using the Swipecoin scalper, and then there is the advanced way. We are only going to cover the basic way today. And I'm going to show you an example of how to take a buy trade or a sell trade. All right. Now, if you're looking for, let's start with a sell trade, right? Because this is easier to compare with what we have right now on the Swipecoin scalper. Okay. Now, when you're looking for a sell trade, there are three things that you're looking for. Okay. Obviously, you need to log into the tool and be sure that the tool is active. Once you've logged into the tool, the first thing you're doing is you're looking for the instruction. Okay. Remember what we did when we logged in there, we saw an instruction saying break and close below zone confirms idea. So you're looking for instruction. That's the first thing. So you get access to the tool, and step number one, you look for the instruction that will be in, a call out or a balloon like this. Okay, and it will tell you break and close either above or below. In this case, it's telling us break and close below zone confirms idea. Once you see that, you know that you are getting ready to take a sell trade. Once you see break and close below. The second thing you do once you've seen this instruction is you check how price is relative to the line that is on the tool. Okay. And this is the kind of pattern that we are looking for. Okay. Let's go back to the Swipecoin scalper right now. Okay. This is the line. The red and green candles are far away, as it were, from this line right now. What we want, okay, for us to know that we are ready to take a sell trade is we want the candles to come down towards the green line and form something similar to this kind of pattern. One candle gets very close to it, and then another candle goes below that green line. Okay, The very action of this candle going below or going through the green line is what you call breaking it. So that is the break. Okay. Now, that's the break part. How about the close? Okay. When you see a red candle like this, okay, just recognize that candles, every bar or every candle, what I'm calling a candle is this bar. It can be red, it can be green. Every bar has 4 important prices, okay? In the case of this red bar, this point here, this flat point here is the opening price. This flat bottom here is the close price. The lowest point here is the lowest price, and this highest point here is the highest price, okay? So open, low, close, high, okay? Those are the 4 prices. Since this close is below the green line, you can say that this candle not only broke the green line, but it also closed below it. Obviously, this point is below this point, right? Okay. So if you understand the break and close now using this illustration, how this bar broke through this green line and closed below it, please put a 6 on the chart. Okay. And if you don't, please put a 7. Okay. Okay, good. All right, so I'll take it one more time, but I'll be I'll be faster this time. Candles are going to be one of 2 colors, right? I have red candles on this slide, right? But in the tool, you can see that there are 2 colors. There's red and there's green. Each candle has 4 properties that you need to be aware of, okay? So let's break it down for a green and for a red. We'll start with a red, okay? Let me expand this so that you can see. And let's focus on this candle right now, okay? This candle, if it's a red candle, the open price is higher than the close, okay? Just know that. That is how this thing is formed, and that is why this thing is red, okay? The highest point that price got to, you can see by this small extension that goes beyond the open price, okay? So the highest point that the price got to is the high price. The lowest point that price got to is the low price. In this case, the low price and the closing price are the same. That's why you don't see an extension below this candle, okay? So for red candles, the open price is higher than the close price. For green candles, the open price is lower than the closing price. So if you're looking for a break and close below a line, obviously you need that to be a red candle such that the closing price is below it, as we have in this example here. All right. So this is a break, meaning this candle has gone through the line, and a close below this line. Now, when you see this, right, how do you, or what do you do? As in, what's the final step to take a trade? Okay, the final step has 3 different components. Okay, you actually place the trade, something called an entry, and I'll illustrate this. Don't worry about that. I'll illustrate this. You place the entry. You set your stop loss. Your stop loss is what will protect you in case price goes against you and take you out of the trade. And you'll set your take profit, okay, which is the money that you will make, right? Based on the investment that you put in. Now, notice why we spent all that time talking about pips, okay? It's because you're going to need that calculation to set your stop loss and your take profit. So your stop loss in this case is going to be 300 pips above your entry. Your take profit is going to be 300 pips below your entry. Okay, just remember this picture, take a screenshot of it. We will illustrate this with an example and it will make sense to you. Okay, now this is a sell trade, and we started with this because, based on our tool, we are expecting to take a sell trade. We are not ready to do it right now because price is not near this line. Okay, but you need to know what to do when price gets to this line. Now, what would you do if it's a buy trade? Let's just go through the buy side quickly, and then we'll come back and do an example, or indeed 2 examples. Okay, if it's a buy trade, the setup is going to be slightly different. Number one, the instruction will be break and close above the zone, confirms the idea. So now you'll be looking for green candles that are coming from below the red line up to the red line. Remember, with a sell, you're looking for red candles coming from above and breaking through. Okay, but if it's a buy, you're looking for green candles going from below and breaking through this red line. Okay, and just be aware the line will be red if you're going to buy. If you're going to sell, the line is going to be green. Okay, just remember that. So this is the pattern that you're looking for. Okay, once you see the instruction, oh, do I actually have any candle that has just broken through the red line? If you do, then we are ready to take a buy trade, okay, as the next candle is opening up. And similar to a sell trade, you take your entry first, and once you've taken your entry, you add 300 pips to determine your take profits, and you subtract 300 pips to determine your stop loss. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and do an example so that all of this will make sense very, very quickly to everyone. Okay, and I'll just do a hypothetical buy and a hypothetical sell, right? Because we aren't quite ready to take a trade. But let me just go ahead and place a sell trade now so that you know how to do it for Bitcoin. Okay, so let's assume, right, that all the conditions are right now and we want to take a sell trade. Okay, what you will do is you will come over to Bitcoin where you have Bitcoin on the left, you right click and you'll see new order. Okay, all right. Okay, you see something here that's called volume. All right, to start with, just start with 0.1 and make sure you're doing this on your demo account. Okay, do not do this live. Okay, make sure you're doing this on a demo account. So just start with 0.1. Okay, now what you want to do is under this type here, you want type to be market execution. Okay, not any of the other options that you have there. Okay, so make sure your volume is 0.1. Leave the stop loss as 0.00. Leave your take profit as 0.00. Okay, remember we want to start with a sell. What else do you need to do to sell? Just click on sell by market. Right? You've done that. Notice that something has shown up at the bottom here. So I have a sell trade with a volume of 0.1 that I have just taken on Bitcoin at this price. This price is very, very important. Okay, you need to note it. Okay, all right, but I haven't set my stop loss. I haven't set my take profit. Now, what did we say about stop loss for a sell trade? We said your stop loss is going to be your entry plus 300 pips. And we said your take profit will be your entry minus 300 pips for a sell trade. Okay. How do we know we have a sell trade? Obviously, you can see it here on that type, okay, that you have a sell trade and you know that this was on Bitcoin. So what do? You can do one of two things. You can right click on that line that has the trade that you have just taken and you come to modify or delete order. Okay. And it brings you back here. Okay. Now, what is your stop loss going to be? Remember, for a sell trade, your stop loss is your entry price plus 300 pips. Now, I want to be sure that you all got the calculation. This is the entry price here, 47352. So what is the stop loss going to be? Okay, please put it on the chart. So the entry is 47352. And our stop loss needs to be 300 pips away. So what is the stop loss price that we need to put on the chart? Okay. I'm waiting. Everybody said you understood how to calculate pips. Let's see. Remember, your stop loss for a sell trade is your entry plus 300 pips. Fantastic. Okay, 47652. So that's my stop loss. I come to stop loss and type 47652. Okay, what's my take profit? Remember, my take profit is my entry minus 300 pips. What's my take profit if my entry is 47352? Okay. Yeah, excellent. My take profit is 47052, which is the entry price minus 300 pips. And remember, for Bitcoin, 300 pips is $300. So you just subtract $300 from this, okay? And you get 47052. And you click on modify. Now you notice there is a red line, or rather there's a red line above my entry, and there's a red line below my entry. So this line up here is my stop loss. This line is my take profit. So if price comes all the way down here, right, I would have made my profits. If price goes all the way back and hits my stop loss, it will take me out of the trade and limit the damage done to my account. Okay, does that make sense? So if that makes sense, please put a 7 on the chart if that made sense. Okay, and again, if you feel like this has been this has been a faster paced class, don't worry. That's why it's being recorded, so that you can go back and watch it and be sure that you understand what we just did. So this is how you take a sell trade. Now, just for the fun of it, I'm going to close this trade and then take a buy trade, just to be sure that, you know, we all got the concept. So you can close this trade at any time. So I'll just go ahead and close it. It's a demo account, you know, so I don't feel bad. Now, what would you do if you were taking a buy trade? You go back to BTC, and I'm going to do this example also on BTC. Remember, be sure that this is on market execution. Your volume, you will always start with 0.1. I don't care whether you have $1 million in your demo account. You will start with 0.1, okay, in your demo account. We'll explain how to change the size later, but for now, go ahead and ensure that your volume is 0.1. Okay. If you want to take a buy trade with market execution, go ahead and click buy. Okay, and you've placed your buy trade. Okay. What do you then do? Okay, you now have to add your stop loss and take profits. Okay, this thing shows us where our entry price is. It is 47554. So what is our stop loss for this trade? Okay, modify order. 47554 is our entry. What's our stop loss for this buy trade? For a buy trade, this is the stop loss that we are talking about. The entry is 47554. What is our stop loss? Remember, for a buy trade, your stop loss is your entry minus 300 pips. Okay, so haven't shown you the answer. Good. Okay, 47254. 47254. And your take profit is going to be 47554 plus 300. So that will be 47854. Go ahead, click modify, and your stop loss is there. Your take profit is there. How do you know that this is your stop loss, right? If you come all the way to the left, you can see there's a tiny SL here. And all the way to the top of the upper red line, there is a TP there. So that's how you know where your stop loss is and where your take profit is. And that's how you do it, right? That's really how you place a trade. And really, with the scalper, once you're sure that the conditions have aligned, right, this is really all you need to do. Just go ahead, click buy, set your stop loss and your take profit, 300 pips away, right? And that's how you use the scalper. One of the things I'm going to close with right now is there are actually 3 different styles that you can use with the Swipecoin scalper in terms of the targets that you are setting. Now, the example that I did is the conservative example, right? Where you're setting your take profit 300 pips away and your stop loss 300 pips away, okay? You can, there's a moderately risky approach where you've doubled the distance of your take profits and your stop loss is 300 pips away. Okay, so you're looking to gain $2 for every $1 that you are risking, more or less. That's how that works. And then there is the aggressive style where your take profit is 900 pips away and your stop loss is 300 pips away. Notice that in every case, your stop loss is 300 pips away. So this is a simple way for you to get started. I always recommend that you start out with the conservative approach on your demo account, take a couple of trades, get comfortable with it first before you start experimenting with some of the other styles. Okay, and definitely all of this experimentation you will do on your demo account until you've built confidence. Okay, so that's the other thing I wanted to say. I'll close with this final slide. Okay, and just say yes, you've been hit with a lot of information this evening, but this is really just the beginning. If you want to master this tool, the Swipecoin Scalper, right? There are resources that you need to take advantage of. So we've talked about the DCX Academy that explains all those terminologies that I brought up. You know, pips, stop loss, take profits, buy, sell, entry, leverage. All of that terminology. If any of those things was strange to you, that's why you need access to the DCX Academy, so that all of that will be explained. Okay. Then for people who are struggling with understanding how to calculate pips, that example that I did with Bitcoin and Ethereum, let me show you something that you may not have been aware of. Now, I gave a link earlier on to swipecoin.im. There is a different link that I'll provide that you would also have access to. It's called myswipecoin.im. Okay. Now, the reason I'm bringing you here is because of this section here called videos. Okay. So if you come here and you click on this, it will take you to a series of just targeted videos that will help you understand how to use the Swipecoin Scalper. And in fact, the video I want to immediately direct your attention to is this last one here that says how to calculate pips. So all of those examples that I showed you, by the time you watch this video, right, it will really make sense to you how to calculate pips. Now, some of you might be wondering, why should I mean, you know, how do I know this tool is even worth it, right? As in, what's the guarantee that we are providing that this tool works? Well, you are your own guarantee. Let me say that to begin with. But I can show you some historical results. Now, don't do a projection based on the historical results, okay, obviously. But I'll show you what the tool has done, right, this year, January and February this year. So let's look at some results real quick for the Swipecoin Scalper. Good. Let me just come down to this one. So this is for January. Okay. Remember that tool gives you ideas for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay. And you're going to want to understand how to calculate pips so that when you see something like this, it immediately registers in your head, you know, what that means in terms of dollars. But if you come down here, basically, let me use this number to explain what would have happened if you took every idea that this tool generated in January. You see this risk to reward, that concept I introduced recently at the end, basically means, you know, if you had $1,000 on average, you would have taken that $1,000 to 4,770 based on the risk to reward. Okay, that was available. Okay, and then you come to February, same kind of situation. You would have done even better than January here. That's, you know, almost what, 300% that you would have seen if you are taking every idea that the tool has generated. Look, we can go back every month in 2021 and you'll see the same kind of results, but we don't have all the time, right? But hopefully this makes it clear to you how such a simple tool can generate a lot of value. And remember, these results that you see here come from using this tool in the basic way. We've not even talked about the intermediate way of using the tool. We've not talked about the advanced way of using the tool. All right, we'll cover these two in the second part of this call. But this is just the basic way of using this tool, and that's what generated those results that you saw there. Okay, just knowing when to take the trades, how to recognize that an idea is active when you log into the tool, knowing whether it's a buy or a sell, and just executing relentlessly. And once you've set your stop loss and take profits, there's no need for you to sit down and be admiring the trade. Oh, wow, this is a very nice looking trade. No, I mean, there's no need for you to sit down and watch paint dry. Okay, just allow the trade to do its thing, go do something else, and maybe come back later in the day and figure out what has happened, or if you want to do some other things. So hopefully this gave you some clarity about the power of this tool, and if you've not been taking advantage of it and you have access to it, I'm sure you have some food for thought this evening, something that you can think about, and build on. And remember, this is just the start of our journey, right? There's the second part that's coming on Thursday, where we'll go into the intermediate and the advanced. Now, one of the things you probably want to do before that Thursday is I just want to turn your attention to one of our Go Live educators, Shane Oguntosi. Right? This is all he does. He specializes in teaching how the Swipecoin Scalper works. Okay. So if you need to be plugged into his sessions and just learn how to use the tool, right, to derive maximum profit. Because remember, one of the advantages of this community is the mentorship and guidance that you get from people. You don't need to figure this thing out on your own. Okay, right? He's there to hold your hand 3 times a week and explain how the tools work. Especially if you're a beginner, you want to check out his Monday sessions. They are really, really slow. I mean, if you thought I was slow this evening, he goes really, really slow. Okay, on Mondays. But even he assumes that you have consumed this content before you're coming to his class. Okay, because there is a point even he cannot start from, right? That will be too basic or too elementary. All right. So with that said, okay, I want to say I hope you got some value here. Let me just see. There's a question. I'll probably take 1 or 2 questions before I turn this back to Chairman. Is it possible to set an alarm to alert you when an idea comes into the tool? Fantastic question that you've asked. There's 2 things that you can do. Let me deal with this very, very quickly. Okay. What you can do is download the Swipecoin app on your phone. Okay, so you can go to the Play Store, App Store, and download the app on your phone. Okay, when you've done that, okay, you can come to settings in the app and essentially activate these settings. So ones you want is phone notification, master alert, and automated Swipecoin alerts, right? Those are the ones you want, right? You want those ones active. Actually, I think they need to be on the right, sorry. Right, you want those ones active so that you're getting notifications on your phone. So that's one way you can do this. The other way you can do this is once you see that the tool has identified where price is likely going to come to, right? We'll show you this on Thursday. You can go to TradingView or some other charting application and just go and create an alarm at maybe some distance away from the line, so that wherever you are in the house, when that alarm goes off, you can quickly come back to your computer and get ready to take the trade. Okay, so that you're not constantly logging in and wondering, oh, is the price there? Is the price there? No. So I'll show you how to do the alarm on Thursday, just for time's sake here. But clearly there are things that you can do. Okay. All right. Okay. So thank you all very much. I'll turn this back to Chairman to help us close it out.
Thank you so much, Engineer CJ, for another wonderful session. If you got so much value from this session, your eyes are opening to the awesomeness of the Swipecoin Scalper. Can you put some fire emojis on this chart? This is one tool that just this tool alone could be all you need. Just this tool alone. And it's so simple to use. Super, super simple to use. So for those of you on the lead package, on the crypto package, or you're a guest, you're wondering when they say, oh, we make money when the market is going down. This is how. This is exactly how it is done. So you saw the assignment. Go watch those videos. The next class is in 2 days. So don't come to the next class and still be asking the same questions that you asked today. Go watch the videos. Those videos, most of them are not up to an hour. So invest that time to learn, to grow. And I can tell you, in a short time, you will master this and your profiting will be very consistent. And your questions will be completely eliminated, totally. So the videos is only available to members. If you're a guest, go get started. When you get started, you'll be added to a member group, a Telegram group for members, and you'll be able to access all the trainings. So the videos, you're new, your username and password give you access. So as you're watching, it will take you to exactly in it. So you're new, welcome, congratulations for making that decision. But the big thing is not the decision. The big thing is to take the action to make a success of this decision. So God bless each and every one of you and have a wonderful night. Let's go.